Today I'm going to be revealing another trap hole within the New Age movement, or shall I say the New Cage movement. A spiritual awakening is where you question everything, you've realised everything you've been told was a lie, and now you're on a quest. You are seeking, right? Seek, find, they say. So now you want to know the truth, right? Because the truth is out there, and the truth isn't that there is no truth. Again, that's another trap within the New Age movement. Seek and you shall find. So here we are today. I'm going to share with you another hole about the New Age deception of ignore the negative. You need to think about life for yourself. You need to actually re-examine your perceptions of the world, because your perceptions have come to you via all the information that you've been told since you were a child, like your family, society, friends, mainstream media, mainstream education, religion, government, science, your five senses, your own experience, and the health industries, what you think is healthy and all that. You need to question all this, and I would say that yes, certainly there is a dark occult on this planet that's manipulated the information, and I'm sure at least 90% of the viewers watching this already know that, but that isn't my point today. Many people think that we need to ignore the negative because we don't want to attract it, right? But in reality, ignorance is negative. So think about it. Before you had a spiritual awakening, your consciousness was at a certain level. Your whole perception of reality was formed by the information that you received. So you're in a little bubble state of consciousness like everyone else, and everyone else, well, if you want to be like everyone else, go ahead, but from what I see, everyone's in their own little me bubbles. Everyone is very much manipulated into a very egotistical way of living. Everyone else is already ignorant. So what is a spiritual awakening? Just staying ignorant? No, the whole point is coming out of ignorance. What consciousness literally means is awareness. Spiritual growth is all about growing in awareness. That's how you grow consciousness. And awareness grows when your experience of reality changes, and that can change through information that you receive, different books that you read and stuff, listening to videos like this. But it can also change through your own experience, through being courageous in life. So the obvious answer is, of course, that the dark occult on the planet, they want you to be ignorant of what they're doing so that they can get away with doing all their sick agendas, and they can manipulate humanity so that they have more control over humanity. And of course, they want you to be ignorant so that evil can run amok in this world, and that's exactly what's going to happen if we just ignore it. But think about it. Every single thing in your life, every single choice you have to make, every day you have choices. The only way we can make the right choices, or the most beneficial choices even, is if we have more information. So the more information you have, the more you're going to have better judgment. Like many people say, don't judge, and judge not lest you be judged. And I've done a whole video on that. Go and check it out. But our whole job in life, everything we do, is about having judgment. We need to judge. We have to judge everything in our decisions. That's what true wisdom is, knowing how to make the most beneficial choices for not only ourselves but all involved, because we know that we're all connected fundamentally. Out of going from the bubble of just me perception, we break out, and then we realise we're all connected, and we are all just different points of attention within infinite consciousness. Everything is just a different expression of the same underlying awareness consciousness, right? So we know we're all connected. Of course they want you to be ignorant of what they're doing so they can get away with their agendas, right? The whole system is built up to dumb you down, right? They feed you crap food, and they feed you false education, which is just basically obeying authority. That's what they're teaching you, and fill your head with a load of nonsense, programming you for the rest of your life. Mainstream media. Right, I don't want to get into all that right now. What I'm saying is, it goes a lot deeper. Why? Why do we believe it at first? Right, I'm going to tell you why. Because when you go through a spiritual awakening, basically what's happening is you've got to take the blue pill, or you're going to take the red pill. The red pill will lead you to the truth and unplug you from the matrix. And remember, Neo, all I'm going to give you, all I'm offering is the truth. So basically when Neo heard that in the matrix, he was like, right, that sounds like it's probably not going to be a good thing, but okay, I'll do it anyway. Or you can take the blue pill, you're going to go back to sleep, and you can believe whatever you want about this experience. Right, we take the red pill. That's why I've literally written this in red, because we're taking the red pill today, and that means that everything we've been told with all of these groups is going to be taken out. That's what the plugs are in the back of Neo when he wakes up in that little space pod thing, and that's what it means to be an alchemist. You see negativity and you change it into doing the right thing. You learn from it, right? Even when you see darkness in the world, you call it out, right? That's what I'm doing right now, speaking the truth, no matter what, no matter who hears it. no matter how you feel about it, if you feel it's a little bit negative, remember it's because you've just been unplugged from the matrix. Now you're all weak and frail, because before you had to, before you were awake, you built yourself up with all this information, right? You've got all these relationships with your friends and family and society, and people think the government is morally legitimate, that someone outside of you needs to tell you what right and wrong is. Maybe you've got a religion. Maybe you have done really well in your education and you've built up you went to university, you got a good job and everything. I don't think anyone believes what they hear on the mainstream media, so we'll just miss that one. So what I'm saying is, you realise everything you've been told is a lie. So that sort of built up who you were. So now you feel like you're going a little bit mad, because it's like, shit, I need to really see with my real eyes for the first time. You're seeing for the first time with your new eyes. That's what it means to realise the truth. You've got real eyes now. You've got your real eyes. So now you're weak because you've never used them before. You've never used your muscles in this way before. Like for me, when I first went vegan, I didn't know what to eat, and I was also going for this other spiritual experience. But before, I was like a fitness model, so I was training like 6-7 times a week. Whereas now I've got all this information to process. I'm trying to change my diet as well, so I didn't have the energy to go to the gym, and my whole body transformed. I got a lot weaker at first, and then now I've had to build myself back up strong again. But now I'm built up with the truth, right? Now I know what I mean. I know who I am. Most people don't know who they are. They think that they are their 5 senses, right? Whereas the 5 senses, in reality, are decoding waveform information into a holographic reality that is actually happening in your mind, in your head. That's what the science is actually telling us, right? When I'm talking words, all you can hear really, it's not the words that you're hearing that's coming into your mind. I'm just sending waves of sound, waves of information in reality, not even sound, into your ears, and then you're decoding that into sound. And it's the same with all of your senses. Most people think that they are their labels, right? And the point is, we need to question all of these things. Like, when we're born, remember, our family, our parents have gone through the same system that you're about to go through, so they've had their own sort of brainwashing. So our perceptions we get from our parents are only perceptions that they got through from the system, and from their parents that went through the same system you went through. And then we've got society's expectations, so what society deems as what's right and wrong. So we need to quit both of them and think about it for ourselves. We need to go beyond society and think about it for ourselves. Beyond our parents, think about it for ourselves. What our friends want us to do and what they think is right and wrong and what they're doing with their lives. We need to not base our lives based on what they're doing. We need to think about it for ourselves. That's how you know who you really are. When you know who you really are, you know what you really want. That's what spirituality is. Mainstream media are obviously, putting a load of fear in your head, because when you're in a state of fear, you crave certainty, so you're okay with Big Brother looking after you. That's their job, and they're all controlled by the same hidden hand. And then you've got the mainstream education, like I said, they're basically there to help make you obey authority, but also cast the first spell into your mind of what you're supposed to become in society, basically a slave to the system. Basically, you basically got to join the conveyor belt lifestyle, replacing your parents in the game, never thinking about it for yourself. Mainstream religion, of course, again, it's blind belief, but in the religious folks' head, it's that the God, we listen to the God. Everything the God says must be true, rather than thinking about it for yourself. Whereas, hang on a minute, how do you know what the God said? The God, it says it in this book. Alright, who wrote the book? Man? Oh, was it God? No, it was man. Has it been manipulated? Well, I don't know, but it says it in the book, so I've got to do it. And basically, in other words, I'm not allowed to think for myself. Right? Government, literally the word government, let's break it down. They govern, so it's to govern your mental is mind. So to govern your mind, so in other words, mind control. Govern means control, mind control. It literally means mind control. And so their job is to make up laws so that you are distracted from the real laws that govern your behaviour, which is obviously the law of freedom, right? I'm allowed freedom if I don't defraud someone else's freedom, take the freedom and the rights away from other beings. The inherent rights that we all have are birthrights. Right? You've got a right not for others to not impose their will on you. But again, the governments will make up what the rights are so that they can say something is a right behaviour for you to do, like cross a border one day, and then the next day they'll take that right away from you and say now it's a wrong doing, it's wrong behaviour. Science is a funny one, because a lot of people, reject religion, and rightfully so. They say that the truth is only something that we can figure out with science based on what we can, based on our 5 senses. If I can't see it, it's not real. If I can't hear it, it's not real. The dark occult is okay with you being plugged into the ideology of scientism, which is another religion, because it's holding back your consciousness. The word religion comes from the Latin religare, meaning to hold back, to bind, to hold back, to from forward progress. Right, and they want you to think that everything is just random, in the sense that it's all just based on our free will and choices that we decide to make, but completely disregarding the laws that govern human behaviour. So many people completely sort of drop out of science and they think, nah, it must just be religion that's true. And then they go to the Bible and stuff like that, and all the mainstream religions, and they're all based in blind belief. And I've already done videos on how science is to do with left brain imbalance, or left brain dominance, and religion's to do with right brain dominance. And the dark occult are happy for you to be on either side of that state of imbalance. And science is basically founded, mainstream science anyway, in the Darwinism theory of evolution. And even Charles Darwin didn't believe that theory himself. Many people believe that they are just their labels, right? So, you know, because of the evolution theory, most of the time, people get too much caught up on just the role they're playing, whereas the role they're playing is just an experience, right? I'm Sam the YouTuber, but in reality, I know that I'm connected to everyone else. So when you know who you really are, it changes what you actually do in life. But my point is, my friends, after you've had a spiritual awakening, you've realised everything you've been told is a lie. You've unplugged from all of these systems because you realise that's how you're feeding your own enslavement. That is a very uncomfortable thing to experience. And so if you're then basing your path of seeking the truth on how you feel about the information that is being told to you, like when you are presented with information you think that's negative based on how it makes you feel, then they've got you. Because you're never going to reach the higher states of consciousness and be able to make wise decisions in your life. If you're just judging information when it comes to you along your path based on how it makes you feel, then you are under emotional mind control, the emotional part of your brain. You're just reacting based on how it makes you feel. Now, over time, you'll start to learn the truth and you'll start to battle with your own shadow. You start to master your own mind, and that is what the path's all about. And eventually you build a spiritual immunity, and then you'll be a warrior amongst men. That's why we're warriors amongst men, because it takes your inner warrior to go through a spiritual awakening.